Ebusia yamamu nyina mo ajo one vision GHSO enie ebusia eye ensema sika sebobre na aso a mede eba besum na ensema wodo a enanwumre yi mede ebesum no de ebedi mu akotini bi eni ene dai oman fotosanfo ekopiemu ewo mrahebedwafie se dede bia wo ye no no e de oman no sika semobra ekoto mrahebedwafo enim Nano Sama a year Cape Coast High Court Edibetu Jasem Shepejania, Wawa Asenot, and Fanny Jumedi and Toano, and Melburubia Wawa Asenot, Eddie and Simbi Abetuja. Wati Cronford Relphobi, a Takoradi, Washano, Ama Watega Temu, Fita. Abusia ensambi ekawe ho enenanwumre yesi eho enkonwa amede esomo sekasebo ewo one vision gate so miri edina na efiasewa abofo kukudambi ena esomasene Bentrina Travel and Tour Limited ena Hugo Wine womo ena esomase medane me ho aba me ba ensam no nchemu no madaroma mede besomo Ebusia yamamu nyina mo akwaba me hye ensem no ase ana me de mani eche emrahebedwafie enne omai sana hene kenfori ata ekopiemu ewo mrahebedwafie na se de bia monim no no omai no husi kasem ebra no de koto mrahebedwafo enim na ebra okodru wo no ensem awodo de tu dwane bi enie wo kyese covid-19 ebra eyi ne ti ewo omai Ghana mo no eni ewiase afa na nyina eyade a nipa 196 million enya nya covid-19 bi enu achiri nipa eye 4 million.1 womo ena womo afrimu eno akwakoye arewo sempa papa ye we ne nsama wodo a ken ofori atakopiemu ewo mahebedwafie wode to adehye wo ho enim.
Let me take this opportunity to thank His Excellency the President for the confidence he retains in the team of the Ministry of Finance and for the privilege and opportunity to continue in this national service of managing the economy and our public finances for another 4 years. I also, Mr. Speaker, wish to extend my deepest gratitude to Honorable Osei Chairman Bonsu for the outstanding delivery of the 2021 budget statement and economic policy of government in March, and even buying a bag like mine. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I want to personally thank you for your noble and wise leadership over this unique composition of this 8th Parliament, and to assure you that government will continue to work with you and this House to deliver on the priority needs of our people. Again, permit me to express my heartfelt gratitude to this august House for your patience and forbearance in postponing my vetting and subsequent approval, giving me time to recuperate. I recognize the historic nature of the second term, and as indicated in my vetting, I commit to ensuring the protection of the public purse and the transformation of the economy. Mr. Speaker, it is my hope that the spirit of partnership that guided our work with the previous Parliament will continue to define our collaboration over the second term for the collective good of the nation. Mr. Speaker, it's difficult to attempt to normalize the catastrophe that has befallen the world. The devastating impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on lives and the global economy is widely acknowledged. The grim statistics are that over 196 million people have been infected by the virus, 4.1 million dead, and over 15 trillion spent. In Ghana, we join, Mr. Speaker, sadly, in mourning with the 823 families who have lost loved ones and pray for the recovery of those afflicted. The COVID-19 induced global recession has been the deepest since the end of the World War II, that is 76 years ago. The global economy contracted by 3.3% in 2020 a 6.7% decline relative to the 3.4% growth forecast by the IMF back in October 2019. Growth in sub-Saharan Africa was minus 1.9%. Ghana achieved a 0.4% growth. From the very first day that the coronavirus arrived here in Ghana in March 2020, the government of President Nabbed Akufo-Addo recognized the dire consequences that it will have on our economy, particularly on jobs, and on our ability to raise revenues to meet both the cost of managing the pandemic and government's regular spending obligations. If I may quote from the President's address on 27 March 2020, where he underlined the challenge and the approach. Should the virus continue to linger for the rest of the year, the effects on our economy will be dire. However, as we have demonstrated over the course of the last 3 years, where we inherited an economy that was growing at 3.4% and transformed it into one which has grown by an average of 7% over the last 3 years. I assure you that we know what to do to bring back our economy to life. What we do not know how to do is to bring back to life. We will therefore protect people's lives than their livelihoods. Mr. Speaker, therefore, the hardship that COVID-19 pandemic visited on people's lives, the stress on parents, the frustration of young people, the negative impact on businesses for both employers and employees, the worsening of the unemployment situation, the effect on the public debt, and the stress on revenue mobilization was unprecedented but expected. Indeed, no country in the world had prepared for the crisis that unfolded. That is why leadership was therefore assessed by the measures that individual countries and their respective leaders took to deal with the crisis. Here in Ghana, we took responsible, innovative, decisive, and bold actions to tackle the crisis. That is why a year ago on Thursday, 23rd July 2020, I came before this House to present what I called an extraordinary mid-year fiscal policy review of the 2020 budget statement and economic policy, and secured more funds to provide an immediate and appropriate response to the severe economic impact of the pandemic.
Osade to dwa se aban no epa abedwakuo bi a mo betena se no man share no mayo kwan ko mbefa so aye vaccine bi e de aboa etu COVID-19 ase e de afi o my Ghana mo.
Mr. Speaker, the strong rebounding growth, the low inflation rates, the stable currency, the strong reserve position, and FDI flows are clear indicators of an economy in recovery. Indeed, the strategic investments we collectively made in building strong economic fundamentals in the 3 years prior to this pandemic, as well as the subsequent speed, scope, and scale of our socio-economic response to the pandemic, is fueling our recovery. Mr. Speaker, I stand before this august House today to assure the nation that our transformation agenda is very much on course. However, with COVID-19 still with us, it is important to stress that the recovery is only the beginning, a beginning that requires our collective sense of responsibility and action as citizens to guide, protect, and participate in the recovery efforts. Mr. Speaker, this mid-year fiscal policy review that I'm presenting does not come with a supplementary budget, and our revised fiscal framework for 2021 is kept within the fiscal target of 9.5% of GDP. We are staying within the 2021 appropriation. Respectful Mr. Speaker, let me repeat, I'm not here today to ask for more money. I have not come Mr. Speaker, I'm not here today to ask for more money. I have not come to ask for more taxes. I have come to update the House on the performance of the economy for the first half year of 2021 and our plans for the unaspired term of the year consistent with Section 28 of the PFM Act. One of the serious impacts, Mr. Speaker, of the COVID-19 pandemic has been the loss of jobs, which has exacerbated the unemployment problem, particularly among the youth. As such, government is ready with a comprehensive program to tackle this intractable problem. The goal is to create employment opportunities for 1 million of our young people over the next 2.5 years by igniting, Mr. Speaker, a high spirit of entrepreneurship. We will count on the support of this august House for this. Our focus on taxes is to collect what is due the Republic. To this end, we are building a robust framework to expand the domestic revenue mobilization to focus on compliance and enforcement nationwide. We have established, Mr. Speaker, the Revenue Assurance and Compliance Enforcement, RACE, R-A-C-E. The remit of RACE, Mr. Speaker, is to identify and eliminate revenue leakages in areas such as petroleum bunkering, gold and minerals exports, port operations, transit goods, warehousing, border controls, and free zones operations, to name but a few. Mr. Speaker, I will now present an assessment of the programs we have and continue to implement in line with our strategy for completion, consolidation, and continuity, which is the theme for the 2021 budget and economic policy. These programs address the concerns of our fellow Ghanaians, especially our youth, and demonstrate our commitment to create sustainable and inclusive opportunities for all. Mr. Speaker, in fulfillment of our completion pledge, we have completed a number of projects and activities, including but not limited to the 4-tier interchange at Kokwase, the first of its kind in West Africa, to ease, and second in Africa, to ease travel constraints and enhance our productivity. The 85-bed Central Kunja District Hospital, located in Boape, to improve access to quality health care. Key strategic factories to provide jobs and accelerate our industrialization agenda, including the new factory of Premium Foods Limited at Ejusu in the Ashanti region, one of the leading agribusiness in Ghana. Nano Foods Limited, pineapple juice processing factory at Nswem. Phase 1 of V5 steel plant in La Plega in Ningo Pram, which when fully completed will become the biggest steel factory in West Africa. Toyota Tushu vehicle assembly plant in Tema, successfully securing the removal of Ghana from the Financial Action Task Force Grace List, which has enhanced access to global markets and finance for our businesses, and the signing of seven implementation compacts under the Ghana Cares Obatampa program. Mr. Speaker, towards consolidating the gains made, we have, among others, pursued prudent macro-fiscal policies that puts us back on track to restore economic stability and growth, fostered a resilient financial ecosystem under Ghana Cares by establishing the building blocks for stronger and catalytic collaboration between institutions such as the Ghana Incentive-Based and Risk-Sharing Scheme for Agricultural Lending, GERSAL, Ghana Commodity Exchange, GCS, Venture Capital Trust Fund, and the Restructured Ghana Enterprises Agency, formerly MBSSI, to anchor a new age of entrepreneurship, job creation, and wealth building for our post-COVID transformation. We issue the historic foreign currency denominated zero coupon bond in our financing mix, that's creating the fiscal space to build our financial resilience, and revamp the energy sector to further stabilize electricity supply for households and businesses. Mr. Speaker, our pledge on continuity has also driven us to continue to implement the Phase 2 of the Ghana Cares Obatampa program to revitalize our economy after a successful execution of the stabilization measures in Phase 1. Continue to implement our key flagship programs, including Free SHS, PFJ, 1D1F, among others, to enhance the quality of life and further advance our transformation agenda. Continued our environmental agenda by embarking on a war against illegal mining, Galamsey, to preserve our water bodies and protect the environment. and continue government's historic partnership with labor and employers and also with the faith-based organizations. Mr. Speaker, in addition to the above, we've continued to provide the needed resources, equipment, and personnel to maintain security and peace within our borders. We are on course, Mr. Speaker, to transform the security services to enable them to adequately respond to emerging national and sub-regional threats. Mr. Speaker, we are aware of various conversations and we will take appropriate measures at the right time, and we beg this House to support us in that bid. In line with government's agenda to enhance our global stature, Ghana placed a bid and was elected as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council for the 2022-2023 term. Additionally, His Excellency the President was also elected unanimously for a second term as Chairman of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of the Economic Community of West Africa States, ECOWAS. President Akufo-Addo remains co-chair of the United Nations and Sustainable Development Goals Advocate Group with Norway's Prime Minister, Erna Solberg. He is also the AU champion for both financial institutions and gender affairs. As a result of the increased international visibility and exemplary leadership of the President during this pandemic, government has been able to procure and administer 1,271,393 doses of COVID-19 vaccines, while 865,422 people have received the first dose, 405,971 have been fully vaccinated with the second dose at the end of June this year. Mr. Speaker, our diplomatic efforts are yielding results, and we are expecting to receive through the COVAX facility 1.2 million Pfizer vaccines from the United States of America, 249,600 AstraZeneca vaccines from the United Kingdom. In addition, government has committed itself to purchase through the African Medicine Supply Platform 17 million Johnson & Johnson single-dose vaccines. Furthermore, the President has set up a committee dedicated to facilitating our domestic capacity to manufacture COVID-19 vaccines, beginning with the process of fill and finish.
Abusianfo eno echi ne omai sana hene kenofori atai sade to dwache se ebra COVID-19 kodi ewo no eyi ne ti e wo mai Ghana mu no e de aho kire ohiane abenidi beja omai so papa na so ntempara no aban no e ma ne ho ye ha e ye nhyehyeye e boa ye wo hyase se wo che aduane ene enema ahodo na no ene boa ye ama adwumako bebre na entumi engu eno echi no aban no asafa de ato ne ho so se embabu no tifia woni adwuma ye no behwe na yafa wo process adwuma ni mu eya asre adwuma na afeso apomu said unemployment in a
In addition, the 2021 expenditure in advance of appropriation presented to this House on 28 October 2020 saw to the uninterrupted delivery of government business in the first quarter of this year and the ongoing implementation of the 2021 budget and economic policy of Friday, 12 March is driving and the revitalization of the economy in line with our theme of completion, consolidation, and continuity. With these approvals, we intervened with timely measures to help, particularly households, schools, hospitals, and businesses, withstand the impact of the pandemic. Government provided direct transfers to households through food distribution and absorption of water and electricity bills, tax waivers to frontline health workers, and stimulus packages to small and medium-scale enterprises were also provided. Mr. Speaker, these interventions stabilized the situation, protected lives, supported businesses, and preserved jobs which would otherwise have been lost. In fact, although the workload from the public sector had to be reduced in many cases all through the COVID crisis, government has never once embarked on any program of laying off workers. Rather, we have continued to pay all workers even proceeded to employ more in some critical areas such as security and health services. Mr. Speaker, let me use this opportunity to thank organized labor and employers for their role in concluding wage negotiations with government in May. The negotiations were marked by a shared understanding of the state of the economy, that we as a nation cannot share what we do not have, a collective will to improve productivity, raise more revenue, and ensure decent wages in the years to come. Mr. Speaker, as a result of our competent management of the crisis situation, Ghana's economy has outperformed its peers, recovering faster. After recording negative growth in the second and third quarters of 2020, the economy rebounded strongly in the last quarter of the year, continuing well into the first quarter of 2021. The Ghana Statistical Service reports the overall GDP growth for first quarter 2021 was 3.1%. The growth was even better, excluding oil, at 4.6%. The Bank of Ghana Composite Index of Economic Activity attests to the strong growth recovery, with the index growing at 33.1% at the end of May 2021, compared to a contraction of 10.23% at the end of May 2020. Mr. Speaker, on inflation, we are witnessing one of the lowest numbers on record in about 2 years. Inflation, which at the height of the pandemic hovered around 11.8%, dropped to 7.5% in May 2021, before inching up slightly to 7.8% in June. The Bank of Ghana will continue to implement appropriate monetary policy to maintain inflation rate within the target of 8 plus or minus 2%. The cedi has been relatively stable in the past 4 years and maintained its stability even in this pandemic year. For the first time in the Fourth Republic, the exchange rate did not see a spike after an election year. Cumulatively, from the beginning of the year to date, the exchange rate has depreciated by 0.6% against the US dollar and appreciating by 3.6% against the euro. This stability is expected to continue as we move towards the close of the year. The relatively strong performance of the external sector led to an increase in the reserves position to 11 billion US dollars, equivalent to 5 months of imports, one of the highest on record. This compares well with a reserve position of 9.2 billion, equivalent to 4.3 months imports cover in the corresponding period last year. Mr. Speaker, we are managing the finances of the country with discipline and competence. The fiscal operations for the period January to June 2021 indicate that the overall deficit was 22.32 billion Ghana cedis, equivalent to 5.1% of GDP. The corresponding primary balance for the period was a deficit of 7.3 billion cedis, equivalent to 1.7% of GDP, against a target of 4.8 billion Ghana cedis, or 1.1% of GDP. We will continue to pursue our fiscal consolidation agenda to ensure that we remain within the appropriation given by this august House. Mr. Speaker, I would like to note that notwithstanding our elevated debt levels as a result of COVID-19, our inflation rate is lower than it was in 2016. Our interest rates are lower than they were in 2016. Our exchange rate is more stable than it was in 2016. Our foreign exchange reserves are much higher than they were in 2016. And we did not have to lay off any workers, nor cancel teacher and nursing training allowances. Furthermore, we did not go to the IMF for a bailout program, neither have we built an interchange for the price of 3. This is because we have managed the economy much better than it was managed up to 2016. Let us, Mr. Speaker, not forget this. On the back of these and other deliberate policies, our country has attracted more foreign direct investment in the midst of the pandemic. As of end June 2021, total FDI into the country was valued at 954.2 million, indicating an increase of 71.2% from US 557.2 million recorded over the same period last year.
we ne ensama wodo a omai sana hene kenofori atako piemu e wo mahebedwefie wo de ensama wodo na atodwa enti abusua na me eya adoma wana sede dwumedi na no pa ye bebo modia afansem ne baako na ya kosana ne adosomu ne hu sensem na wo kan ne Ghana for eto yasoma na yagitum anade ne ye kafa wani wachi ne one vision ye beti enwa gumonte so ne Ghana de shebi akasa abusua metwa ensem no eso a enche ye bia na osoafa wono ene da kwaye ho ensem so onunyanfo so afri akoto edebetu dwa no wo kire se Ghana yenhwe ye hu ye na eye enkokọ yare na sentakra mo yare eye bedfield na asabe biem enti yenhwe ye hu ye na no kwa na amampanyifo de enhye bia to akwam se omo hwe se akoko funa wodo e krefi ama wodo so ba Ghana no yemfa ni nyina emma se de ebe ya ye betimi abo ye ho ban ede afri yare no ho na ebra asante mo beto abonten no na one vision ye adwe se ye bekọ abonten ene ade hye bia kokasa no ma che o madwen ede afa e bedfield e ho.
Yeah, from Lydia.
Na me pa cho what is a bird flu abagana.
Matepa.
Na oti na ma say you know onkuko uda sorry akoko no. Ala say de wejai ala wo chen kakra yare no kwa no wase ato aso.
Sisi ade mejai say me fish because na me pa akoko pa but me say flu na aba no na me jai we.
Okay, me das.
Me pa cho de me ni me fa ho ne say yare bia aba echemua enremu mua ne enoma no nti saa na menim fa saa yare no de me ya mebo ho ban ni se wo se me jai saa nam no we na oman no so wo se o mo hwe ni yie se ebi omo de enam a efri krofufo so beba oman ni mu na betimi aba ye ho ban afri ho
mpacho nde kakra ye mo fru mo fa ho ne se ono ze eyenkokwa ya de ya aba sesia ya even agric minister ekura no ama ya tese bibisa aba but ye fa ye ha se no yenkokwa ye no enuma bebre wo ho e wo ha se ye se ehie enkas abantimi so asne wo sa ne man ho because ni ye ha se no brothers ni you know ne bo ne modern feeding no ne bo den pa nti saa ne ma wen sa bantimi anso ya sne a ebe ha omo eye sa family no na mo banz no enam abrochire nkukọ ni ade a yes ye de benti no e ma ha se no kra no se eba ye nto ye de papa because omo se ye de boarding because of ye feed na ye nya na ha se no e ma ye de kosoro esin abrochire de nti sa banzo betma boa na se de fra abrochire ba no so betma tse kakra de amaye na se ye ne house so betma boa ye ama wo de ska kakra de omo ye nso na ka ma ye de na ye hase no eso ati kakra de amaye na ka eja kakra nkra yetimi ye na kakra nkra se de betma boa ma oma no etima akoso na so ye adwuma asem ye bi betma boa ma obi else betma anya adwuma because nkokọ no to no wo do okoto free poultry farm o ana wo mu so mu betu free do so wo ho na me no ni na so no ema adwuma so bakurum kakra
o de metimi aka ne se enam na amokra free outside de ba ya akoko force na ebetimi aja na se baby ayate se bi wono sa x na omode ba no eno so no betimi stop e de minimi say entakra yare a ba ekum enkokwa na say emwa like entakra wo mo anwana
me tigana ba me shara anti bibisa e mum but oba ya be kan na me hu say bia bibisa e den e ho no oh sisi ade kwan be fa so e be mana kodi e ni nyina wo mpenifo ni say because I don't know say maybe your friend is saying ayaresa wa hanu dro bi ebe mo my den amoma kodi e ndi me shara ye den enim about those things no but a bit depending because your mpenifo mo di agriculture ni mo betimi ay den aso ano until we the civilians na your mind money there we don't have anything to do
me nim dem nim tama na yewo nkurase no ye nim sa afi bia na ayare ne ba but na ye nim but si anu de I say yare no aba ekọ etwam but I say si anu de eduane na ho aye de ama nkokọ no nti ama nkokọ no yare no so na de akoye ne se isi ano omo munye nkokọ no onwunya aduane ma nkokọ no enam nkokọ fos no mukra bani ntino isi ai local ones no mo mani nko mo ho aha nti isi aduane no eho akoye de ntimi hu se ono na omunya aduane ndi bebrebe no na omugubuo ni musu bebre sa no munya aduane ndi ana ade yare no be ba ntimi de sa na me ni fa ho sisi sisi ana pa die se yare nkokọ no mum na ebenya yare ne bi mo me yesi osanka ebeboa na esi a o man di okui se nkokọ yare enya ne ya nwu a ade ebio na epese yenya o ti ase enti yare ne de me de mintimi nka se enye bibia mo ye ho ban se nkokọ no se ntimi nka se ye jaare esi a no ne mama ye de ntenya akokọ funu ene ye bere ndi se ye bere na ye be yare de ne na kire se yare nyale mum esi a de
Wachese omani mu ayede papa ye enti so obawi akokofunu na wayade a obawi no wayade na wa kasa na aduane onya bi ni nyama akokofunu asa beteche ho oboa obawi enti no eyare hosem ye nkokọ wo man mu enti ye hwe agriculture na ministry ni bi wo no ma meti wo monka na busa se wo ho no mo ye adwuma e de na ekoso kua ye no enye bode ne banchi dua nko a ene me bebre ka onye kokoko nko a enti no wana woye poultry farm no so aban so ma se de bi o maka ma na anokwa hu sem so de bai se enkosua na anka aban ne boa momode school fee de ni se ya to agu amekwa kofa macro efrichi wan chon China aba na ye de mankwa ne ha dwen eti yaye de no se ye se pe made in Ghana de yaye de no yesra aban ne so mu nhye mu kana mu ba hu de wo se de be ya afoforo so betimi amomani age ho na omote enkasa na omotimi so akwakoboa ma Ghana yetimi akoni ni nya be boa ma economy na akọ nanim na se koba se de bia ye kra to the sense o get it on kwa abuchire na ye de akokofunu afiri wa na ye de na ba wo ya rewosem etini yesra mu a no panyifo no mo hwe na munye bebi man na ase na akọ kan yi na ono otu o man mu ayeden eni so ba bia akokofunu wa ya no awu a ono otu wi asesi ade no wo ye aho kire nko a ya rewosem ye to akase ebo no eso na ebe eman mu ayede no ebinu mo wa emu ayede o emu nya de o won de wakantama dinsie aso ya che ne wo se kro no no de obebo wonnya adwuma fufuro bi anka ho wo de adwuma bre ne kwa wonnya ne de ya ne kro no na abrante ba ko niti anka anko yeye wakobo kro no e wo Takoradi na no enema adehye mo eye cassava farm electoral area so ni mu eno mo se ade bia mu wi ade ye bo mu kumu we de ye mu nku ne mu ye gata ne emu ayefin ye bo modi ama abrante ete gata mu se nwan owie ye no eno de asa enya asem ketwa ejina mu
I am many tools, ne parts, nyama or the nyama ni bin daddy ni bin mukeke watch na mkafa wa macho we abruna wa that's it small girl no na mo fama no me duma sema e basa na mo small girl no so na mo fama no so wo lost mo mo do na me we do bi ansa me na say e ko galam say we join ka o ni pa le question
enti abedwuma na volunteer for twenwa ma ye ayeden
for the volunteer for a job one year no what may you go team na ma ko to bi
nti the mad na baby one na there
can I hear that? No one said was it. I don't find from where I find from what do you show? But don't do your treatment. What do you show? TV station. One ball. You can be
mera ni tools nyama bi ne nyama kutokuna bi mana make ya make yi ni nyama ni bi wo ma me dey reka
amala bibia ka me ba mo problem It's a good amount of people. No, what you have to do. Watching or some you. Oh, you got chance. I do not say the moment. I'm not going to have
I'm second.
How can I do operation? How can I do school? Hey, what did you say? Show me who is doing Hey, no,
Abusia asem no eya asresem eya rehosem na de me pese me busa embebu na water kwade ne se de omudi ye ni omu wi aja amanako ana se wo mu wi de na kwakoma prosifo no matwe na so ana so mu wi o me ne dey mesre omo amenya cheche mu omo fama metisi a we de kwaku from pod asem be ba wo de asem abapa na we de wakowi ade wa ya adwuma wi ni ama o club anum se jegbo so we de nkai asem mu wi a wasasa no akwada baby next time no so baby ade bi ma and so be wi ade na de sa so twene ma na wo wi ade wa hwe na ka ho ahwe pa na wa hwe no wasa na koma police na yese ye na family akwa so next time no kro no na se mo bo mo ko ma na ye simple dodo o ma ne fa ye mu next time no okodem a won mo sa kro no ebiem ebusua ye to akase bo ne so na nsa na meto aso no aboafo bi ada romanti na metimi ne nsem ebeso mo maka cho se akwanto ho nsem de wada roma wo de koma ya no mfrimanti kwa ya bi tete won pa adwuma otedem na me ye na dom no ohu computer mu kakra de ne wato adi wo hyedem wo se a me fam ne nto oboa obadu sika di wadu coordinator na tere wo sister me ba me dwonso aba oboa wo ko wonyina woni emechi no aha nti se wo pese wo tu kwan na obi bia ya genu eye ne kwan so one vision ye metra emetwa nto ne kontoponse ne ankyere mu enu kwedrodo etiabusua wa broche eye wakono ye wani kasa obefa obakọ waya emfa fa wani eche bento na travel and limited na wonya akonto ho nsem no emfama ho enu wachi ne so obi a wudi dwa wo ye dwadini a wokọ Dubai ne ama ahodo so aka no wo probi a obeboa wo ene wo passport no visa ho sense ni nyina o wuntu kwan da se de na me ne amonu ye pese etu kwan ya hwe ni mo sika ne ma enu anu me nya nkra se na ye busa se na akwanto ne nya ma so na ye beko pa an ventinati busu a wo ye na aka se si wo disika ne beta ato ne ja ye wi ye nkra ta se ni bibia na ese ya kodi holidays for Germany aba ni nyina ventinati ne de beko omu ye genuine enti wadaroma fa wani eche taifa Norway na wakwanto ho nsem na omu nye ni nyina emfama number no 0209 344202 0209 344202 eno ne number wodi edwuma wo pese ofene telephone so so a 0559614765 eno ne call na WhatsApp de na me de kan de ma mo no ebusuafo nyame adoma wochina ahwene pa mo no jemfo a birthday entinya asem toto akra kwaku frempo de asem ebo ne esimu saa entinu de ade beji ani Hugo drinks enti wada roma ochina nyame adoma mo no onim nom kra na ye ma ne kakra na ese waye fa adwuma waye ni na wotwene mu nyina no wode atetete ne hoto so enti nyame adoma ochina one vision ampaye edwa wa party kese pa na de ya Hugo wines Hugo drinks no ene de ye party no na de ya wo mu so se ye ncho location no ye wi ani etwa de aba ba kira mu nti ochina mo aboa mo amonu fans ene one vision fans nyina no mo ba mo ni mi be wi a me de number ne betudwa na mo de aba be simi so a eja me hukwa me fa so a me de ama no nti nyame adom ocha de ne jesem kese pa nti no ye be fa so asa I wish you happy birthday in advance enti abusu mo ni nyumaku a omo eso masene mame ento ansem so eno ada ye wo ha ene nya ne ntie se eye Cape Coast High Court ede nsemi aba betudwa ni nyina ne se ebra ye koto aba no ewie ye no eye ade opanyi kese a wogina mu ana MP a wogina mu de ama ade shewa asen north no ye de begina mu se papa yi ase onye Ghana ni ne card ekura no ofri Canada ampa ase ni edi agro ye de asem ne court ebra mu ko bo nkro wie no court atwe papa ya sense no nyamfo James eye jaache kwansa se nkrobo no mo boy ni chese wodifo enti on pe be binta na yenko by election enu asani beto odwa na akwakọ ya reho sempa se anopa ye di hu komo wakwakọ cha ma hye bedwafie be botumi emotwi mu wani na wagege niema kakra na ye ja ne sama na kono ya ai na so ye sika ne de ama nti won konya hwe na enu ache ebra asem beto abonte no endi samanyo ko ne chese judgment o mani anye ho ase court achechire o monse gomachi ene wo bom yem se fufu ha adwene pa o mani anye ho na asemi beto abonte Ghana yesuro because ebi esipen ayawa so west go yekoto aba na esi e na nya asem keto akra ne no ena mebu na wo ase not de aba no mo chese saa basabasa na esi wo ayawa so west go no mo mpeti o mo mpebi so ahu asundwe na mo ewo asen man mu no ena afi so my Ghana no eno no mo hia eni se esi ekoba election mebu no nyina nyi ntom ne yekoto aba na de esefata na ebe yi no yenyi no na Ghana ye de nti wonko na wonko som Ghana osompa ewo mahye bedefi
Enkrofo ye ho twetwe nkomo fa no ne da atemba a obai ewo NDC ni MPP ntema a wo chere wura Gyachi Kwesin onkodo ntina fie de ankra ontum nye mbehye begonyi bio no ho no dodo na wakasa afadam insemi ho wo che hon adwene a hon nyina adwene kro bankrum de sese de da aba no Ghana ye pe asomdwe emiti ye hwe de asomdwe bokodara ede him ewo omani mu ensem pinara na wakasa ya obibiara che na adwene ewo kwan a atembu no fado krodo no ho.
I don't think there's any big issues because what we were expecting and also waiting for no and then into what are you hoping for and I say tension keke and the Bebra Assent not say you by election. The whole Ghana will be looking at it, say you be decided and
Emra and Eddie because yen a Ghana may in an Eddie. Said the Baya Ghana Yamra Kunino. Empa different we are Timrani Diva Yempa and we are citizens, the Emradi do the IFD. Yenina, the Austria, said, yes, some of the electoral commission, and now the Mayan. I have about 1 year for now. I say, emotional moves, and so over to obey you, Bino. I was so much in Chicaka. Anybody free baby by me, I see it in a cheap or your bugger, indeed in a cheap. That's it. I say, my Munano. Woman, shall say, to about next time you be you, yeah,
say. I say not be you be obedient not development and I say in puntu I pay our yasim memuano yensa aka and only idea I don't think so and I say minjin ni say a day tawanta na say bibia e be ba sen no me say entra yempeni fo ne ye kasa e bebre ansa France na e be court no say no matter the decision Ghana na ye pre decision and I say ye pay the besi you see ye wini a ye make sure say enko ye say ye kosre ye nuanom emu ye NDC for nti entra I say not the ye di ehuni pa up to na me nya sure say ate basa ye bia na ye tie yempeni fo nso asem say on see ndi ehuni be di ehuni sa na ye mesre me nuanom maka MPP for ne NDC for ye stromo ye ne MPP for first mesre mo nkunimdie na akwama ye no nkyere say ye nyana so ne ye nuanom a ankwamo no ye nkosro mo because usre ne sana ebia no we nya abotre no de bufo nso ayede ehia yesre ye nuanom endis fo nso ebi mpo a ye nua endi unia MPP ni bi mpo ka asembi na ebia wo mu no wanka ne ya na osre wa me mfa na bufo so obetimi anase uni obi hia na intawantawa anase mu di nsembia no na mo hwe na de bufo beba the best number ne se wo obetimi efiro ye mpese we anase by election we anase result by envra na bi intawantawa bia beba senot because ye nyina ye baako after election no ye nyina ye bomu after election ye nyina nso be ye nuanom timi mpese anase ye mpese sa election anase result by envra no e di intawantawa bia beba senot
abusia yetwa ensem no eso na one vision be na nsani e na ebo mama ne ese wo de wani eche eye prisia woni valley oduma se e won yokra ne nyina ene se eye future global resources eye mining company wo ho na ade sheche se nje ya omo no mo ye no panyifo ene so enti ene nya asem keto akwa demonstration chenchenche pa ekoso na demonstration no echi no na eye mensi kwache panya wo ho e de aba betudwa no wo che se enyema wodo ase ejapade ase papa eye enti eye panyi fa wono ene da mines na no e de abase anka yentu mines ni mu kakra se de ebe ya wuhu a ekoso na na se wuhu a be hye omumu no o ma hwe kon be fa so na o masi ano ekwan na no na ama mensi kwache panya wo ho eche se sa akoba ebe ha adwene emema memru na tene fia che wonya adwuma nye ko basa so a na e de wo ha foforo ene esa be jai ade hye so
Dan Ogunade na ezweni chira Future Global Resources Limited ejumako no ma na da jiri nwa kra ni nyina ya kwana mbebu na wowo odumase fado ye oyechre namdo sese ejapaza oburu Ghana side mpempem adura America dollar ma na oye sika buburija nyina nyide mbebu ni divone yi chire oye ejumako no mu dija kototo hwan ahyan a na osisi ho no mu sese e conditioners ahorowa na obubo fie ho e chere na nzema oho no ofa asese ya wogudo na oresese no onamdo ematu kasa ya enkrofo ebienze wo pepra emwode mon kwa ayer sabia onomu na general manager oda ejumako yi ano owura Ahmed Salim Adam de abotugore dembrede wo hwe bambo nhihye na za aboto hwananyimi de wonto adwuma no mu kakra enkap mabra asomdwe baba ansana we boy adwuma no ato emankrofo a oho no akọ akaye adwuma ono echire no ebra one vision GHNye owura Isaac Dasmina oye abankrechi panyin e oho nso kasa no chede da okaba no abaye awehosam pa osande ne adwuma nyi ho de minti se inkrofo nya kakra woriye na se okaba nda bibinti wokokatine fia ena edoma wonye adwuma no nja no dodo nara na orkoso ne demti obohwere nzama otisedam no ebi inkasi bio ema asomdwe aye adwuma zana enkrofo ahohwere kan nyina yin dem se ehwe mfipia adwuma efudi baye adwuma ewo ho a hon ebisada all the way ma hon ema hon asetem ye ditum konkan no onye da edwumaku aye na yi na onam do ema woye ho oye kire
Oshia ni de I'm say almost still assess the damage. You still and you know a music team ni na no you go around e go share the degree of damage am why air conditioning ni ade de no de ja kan omo de your friends yema etutu go around ni ade we nyama say ho ano shipa na I'm say my manager no so edin komo almost your mono so far and I'm say reality near the anything no some take your time no more assessing yama ho nyina cause e bia na obi di bibi kra ko go bi ade bi mu na machine bi mu no mo ho because you ko ka ba ko kra omo bi bonnet so omo assessa nwa de gu engine ni mu nti no omo suspect is one bibi ko gu baby am ko spark machine which is a multi-million-dollar project nti no omo ko ye na ko sai sisi na nti no omo to omo ba se no omo assess the situation and some strategy the miss no gunshot no yes because we are almost no side of the story and no mean to me and can say nya no kre but the ko na mi pa mi nu any prior but the prano nya to see unim say and the miss no obi atutuo according to one shot and the tune so am say direction kra no na any but am say bubu abi split here na I'm a pellet in mi ko rora obinom sem ene ba konso no ni waste ha but na any serious injury am so mo form at the midst of confusion am form kwa mi ko duro krom ka chem say ba kon cry den ewu entina na me so me pen tema ko confirm say no cry na so no but omo nyina no they were treated and discharged me feel say this ya no omo nyina am hoye entina according to them no that was why I'm saying no pa I don't think say distractions are omo ekoso no hono worth that because now company nakasano they are struggling a bit because of more operations near the idea giving the cost no this is no kase no more ato mine ma start ejuma and I don't think that is a way to go timegeji youth leaders no nyina no they don't support their company no everything but then they just because of them they were just pressing for their grievances. And I think if some more pressing for grievances that is not the best way. But we have engaged them for more than 6-7 times on the same issue. Some feel some more brains, even this time crown your mom a little information to me so now you fan sign and I come this year and buy. The assessment by them saying paying for the baby now either so and your move was who changes be the problem is municipal or mining companies and KCMU and be almost share municipal as the future global and go first. If you almost share the other companies in a year now they are not getting the same thing from the other company no but you who say in terms of deposit in a resource in management different. And in a the other company you can say you na be sia abotre na ye ni omodin sa so na omotumi so tu na monpa or revive company no na ehia ade bi ehia e bia no so no omuso tumi ayaman say company there some employment ni ade economic activity etu ankofo ka ngo anti say omo company no omo revive there na ebenya nsusaso Bonnie so because on conformity if your band is as one way crowd workers and cry near could your moka na issues be brain the problem be brain and which is a company no betum for a long time. Resettlement in the no crying in I buy a 2 year. You will say initially in my environment and was at a point in long percent a more resettled mass community in until call a main road no cry call people now to say almost started crisis structures be brain. Now at a certain point in the minimum how that project was abandoned. And then I'm saying what plans is a very settlement in terms of development or no a catch and I'm saying one of our more key issues is a company no on to me resettling more said a bear almost no be to me to an more developing I'm saying it was one of the key. But the future global also feels a phenomenon they need enough time to study the data. Then who say the reason now the A2 viable because at the end of the business until say more take you over some also here say they all deposit now on vis-a-vis cost the baby 2 it's worth taking that decision until no so them say STT at least come 2-3 years yes and no almost feel say I mean, the Omo have been short-changed for a long time. You know, I mean, Omo find it very difficult. Ombeti the Omo can see now. I mean, Omo so no any Omo nyina no akabum. Ti anamo ayitu any day anamo ayitu say Omo nyina no na kai nyina na yeso say oye nyina ebo company na ejina na so a then na the ensu here bia na Omo timi ayaman.
Abusia asam no ani anya papa ye eyare hosem na bibia no abote ewie nkunimdie wo enchechemu a enu ada na edema morning show ni so a na se the company ni ye entwaye na the member ni ye no so entwaye kire se wo hye japade ni sika na wo de bebo kro ni ho bra no wo sa de ba be sese japade nti da ben e na obeye de wo pe no e de ama e ha adwenen na mercy crash panyi nyame nim rekro ni wankasa ye kura nipa ebra ye nipa yentimi fa nipa nkwan to japade ho na panyi asema ba na beka asema osian eniema na ase no doso ha dwen che nipa na yabo omutu no yare wo sempanyi enkasa sa papa wankasa ye sa akobra ne kone bra biem na asemu ensese panyi kura na epiefe nanum eba na emum anya ba wie yenhwe na wo haw na aba no empanyimfo siesie na no kuradie adie som yema kuroma no omunye na kuro no entumpon na moye adwuma gold na moto munye sika na se de bia empanyimfo kakra bia no mafuno no mai kutukutu aduane nko a sika mfanye we eye na kamude ye bibia me ntiase bodididi na mode afama enema ehun nya kwa na mode bi eti ade nti na mo mampunto nkoso na ade chie hu nton we asem wudidi amobi ndipe na enye tietietie abusia kasebo no esi medemo ebesia na adehye bi edom messages aba madaroma making kan ede amamo eye Godfred Aprekubonso o say good evening yes so ye jo so pa o say too much reading and na me pese me hu say eye me masem na working ana say eye wan de Godfred Aprekusade abebiem and o say ebra na yera kenforiata e kasa no ma me na wogya hono ma wo sign ne do so dodo wono akasa no sign na wo ye no wo busa se na emahye bedwafo no mo tiase ana akasa no akasa no na wono akreti wono an story ana se de no no pese wo hu na wo sade aba o say fellow Ghanaians wo hu ne say na interpreter na akasa no o ma stories be dodo too much na wo sade ba say wo ye sure say emahye bedwafo no tiase ana eno echi no o say oda Takoradi youth no ase se bra sa rewo semwe esi nipa ko wi ade no empempi ni yachi wo mo ayabu wo mo ne yaku wo mo na ye ma yakayaka de ne nso we de ya mana tigatemu ye wie ni ama no club wanom fine bibia ye kama na eno no wo che se wo do ma se papa ye se omo enko no omo tu anamo papa ai eno echi no wasabo ma baso bi e na yima no mensa se ni akoso ni entwaye de emabunu no ede ye okronfo etatwa mo o ma anya ade watching wabokro no na emom you don't have any right sat na mo de ne fam no ne mefam na kai se mo de ne ma process for na mo asotwe bi wo ayede amano ai enti mano de eno no Godfred Aprekubonso o say please give Arinipa amonogem a year roasted rabbit was here for manas ni birthday gift enti me ni ama wo fia wo de ne wasuma wo chia me oni masem ko se na na wasuma perpetual gemfi wo se asem o asem de papa ye eno na Mr. Aprekusade ba ha no say AI News GH please don't come and make trouble for me ono so AI News de ba no senior man made na mama trouble na ha na say omo di agro kama ama page ne so aye kama perpetual sade aba o say wo hwe ye free Lebanon perpetual nyame won share papa eye achopa AI News pa acho no Mr. Godfred Apreku waje atomu Emmanuel Mensa esade abebiem or say the Lord said that anybody should mind anybody should mind so they should know and stop mining until the law allows them to do it. This moment the public then handwriting me wuni what okay what the public me hu ade ni ye one me nim dia wode e bade me nim dia na opese o che Godfred sade about na nefia mo ye da se papa ye was ase emphasize da PCA enkoma eye one vision dwuma ko nyina ana Emmanuel Mensa e kire se woni akwa ye ma otumi krata se obeman ni enko se yesu ene yensase emfama ye ne a opese wo kire eno no na afa so Godfred sade about wo bo Arinipa amonogemfo abaso eye Thomas Miki so dia about so wo hwe ye free Italy ye da mu nyina mo asenya kopon hira mo pa enti abusua messages na mo de ba ye ni nyina ha no ni nyina akɔwie sɛ yɛda mo nyina mase na mmom na me ya adom a mo nye ne kakra kakra mo fa nsi me so mesrɛ mo a mo fa mfa mo no so mo fa nsi me so me ankasa me mati bi di ama no ai e be ti ne so anya adom me ma me ha enti no me a me dia na ja mama ne kakra birthday girl me aso ɔkyena yɛbɛwɛ sɛ yɛde ne ɛbɛpie nyankopɔn wɔnhyia ne paa na wɔnyɛ ne kɛseɛ ɔkyena yɛbɛbɛbɛ ne kɛseɛ enti abusua mede mu ɛbɛsia na nsɛm a ɛdi akɔtene ɛwɔ kaseɛbɔ no bi ɛnie ene dai oman foto sanfo ekopie mu ewo mrahebedwafie se dede bia wo ye no no e de oman no sikasem bra ekoto mrahebedwafo enim na no sema eye Cape Coast High Court e de betu dwasem mrahebedwani a wo Asenot emfa ne dwumadi ento no e meburu bia wo Asenot e de ensem bi abetudwa Wati kromfuremfo bi ewo Takoradi wahye no ama wategatamu fita Ewusia kasebo no esi na enyumakuo mo so omobo masana so mo so mechidom eye Bentuna Traveling Tour Limited wadaro makwanto hu nsem de ni de kwa so fakodan no ne woni hu dwuma nyina emfama mfa ngoma ya no mfo ya omo ekomode wo mo Bentuna de bibia original enti passport kwa na woni bi obeboa o visa okrata hu nsem ene bia wo tukwa ba bia okokodo abeda ne nyina Bentuna tadaro ma obeye ni nyina edi amao ene we tese na mi kan no kyena de ampaya edwa wo fia hwene pa mo no gemfo edi ne birthday enti de edi birthday no Hugo drinks enti madaroma ensa fine wunya 18 years amen ha ho se wo kwa konombe Bentuna number no mame fanto 0209 344202 and na face so Hugo drinks the number no 0592757348 and the number mo de adwumanti frene order bi se wo ye birthday party wo ye adore bibia enti wadaroma ye akasa na nim se papa nti ochina ye betwa ne de akyerem na emum location ni de nya de ye bekyerem nti mesrem a sika no se dem de kaka mo de ba woje a wo ma no mam kakra bi enti wadaroma mo ma ne emesi me so WhatsApp line na ha wo so no ebesi me so a me kyere mama ne pepepe ne akyere ne se de awene pa ye wish you happy birthday in advance nyakopo wo nhyira papa ye na ma nkwatentia ahodi ewom ebusua me de mo ebesi ebeda production team na se papa ye fiti anopa oh ya so de ntama ba be ye adwuma na me won hye obi bia obo ne omoden e ma na na afia se waso metimi de kasebo ye ebesomo ya hwefo ani adofo mo hwe frɛ tichi ne benche so nyakopo won hye mo messages Mr. Godfrey Aproku to channel 24/7 na boadu 24/7 now to channel to nyakopo won hye papa ye enchia PSA so enkoma Mr. Ahmed o Germany Mr. Ahmed mete won ka che nimse nyame adomo ho ye nyame won hye no nyo kese pa ebusua medin edina na afia se wa medi mo be nyame ya adomo channel pa hwana se de dwumedi no ebeto aso